Hi everyone, it's Tanya and welcome to today's video. In July, from July 6th till July 12th, Monica from Monica Kim and Chloe from Read with Chloe will be conducting a readathon, which is also a very interesting readathon. Like, we already know that I like readathons. I want to partake in this event, and this readathon speaks to me in particular because it is a Korean readathon. So basically you need to read books about Korean culture by Korean authors and stuff like that. So if you don't know, I lived in Korea till summer last year for 3 years, and this is country that is very close to my heart, that is very important. It played a very important part in my life because that's where I met my husband, that's where we got married, that's where we spent first 3 years of our life together. And like, Seoul and Korea, they will always hold a very special place in my heart. Of course I want to participate in this readathon, of course I want to be part of it, especially because I have 7 books by Korean authors, and so I thought that I would try and read 1 book for a day. Now we know that I tried to do this for like this year, doesn't quite work out, but it's okay. For 1 week I might try and actually do it because all the books are quite short, so we will see how that goes. Even if I cannot do it, it's okay. We already know that very few of my plans work out, but it's okay. It's all fine. We just, you should set high goals, so you would achieve maybe something not as high, but still you would achieve something good, So it's okay. The plan is 7 books for a week, so a book a day, 1 Korean book a day, and I'm so incredibly excited about all of them, but in particular 3 of them, and I think I will start with these 3 books. Let's talk about the readathon. And because it's only a week long, it has only 5 reading prompts and 2 life challenges, which are so cool. So we will talk about life challenges in the end of this video. So reading prompts. The first prompt is to read a group book, which is The Silence of Bones, and I don't have that book and I don't think that I am interested in it, so that's why I will just replace it. With another book by a Korean author that I am interested in. So the first book that I want to read for this KOREADATHON is The Vegetarian by Han Kang. I am incredibly excited for this book. I really want to read it. This must be something just incredible, because basically this is a story of a woman who has a husband and they live a very quiet, like normal life as a couple in Seoul. At some point she starts seeing nightmares. She starts seeing very invasive images of blood and brutality in her dreams, and she decides pure her mind, like pure herself, and so she decides to become a vegetarian. Her husband, her brother-in-law and her sister, they don't really understand her, they don't understand why she is doing it, and for her it's also like an attempt to set herself free from all the pressure from like people outside of her. On the other hand, her husband and her sister and her brother-in-law are trying to suppress her back and reassert their control over her. So for her, this choice to become a vegetarian, because just like she becomes obsessed with it, and she just obsessively is trying to defend this choice, and so apparently it sets in motion some set of like events in her life. So it sounds brilliant. It also won Man Booker Prize, International Man Booker Prize. This must be something incredible, so I am so excited to read this. It's going to be the first book that I read. Next prompt is read a book translated from Korean. So all of these books are translated from Korean. Like I said before, I prefer reading books about a culture written by members of this culture, so all of my books about Korea are by Korean authors, so all of them are translated. But just for example, for this prompt I am going to read Human Acts by the same author, Han Kang, so the same author as Vegetarian. And this also sounds like something absolutely very interesting. This is about a student uprising in 1980 in Gwangju, and Gwangju is actually the hometown of the author herself. And so, as the blurb puts it, from the award-winning author of The Vegetarian comes a poetic examination of humanity at its most appealing and most hopeful. And this must be so interesting. There's so much praise about this book from like different newspapers. For example, Sunday Telegraph says, a conversation of which we rarely hear both sides, the living talking to the dead and the dead speaking back. How interesting! Like, I'm so excited about this book, really want to read it. Next prompt is read a book with a person on the cover. For this, I will read The Good Son by Yu Chong. I'm not sure how to pronounce this name. The Good Son. This is a thriller, and actually Chloe from Books with Chloe, she is also reading this book. I'm very interested. This is going to be something very suspenseful. It's also like a psychological, I guess. It has something to do with psychology, because this guy, you need to keep in mind that he's like a very perfect student. He's a perfect son. There is nothing bad anybody can say about him. And so one day he wakes up at his house and he goes down on the first floor and he finds a body covered in blood, and he doesn't remember what happened the day before, and the body is of a person he knows only too well. And so he doesn't know like what happened. He understands that he cannot go to the police because, well, obviously he will be accused. What should he do? We will know after reading this book. So this is the thriller that I'm going to give a go. I'm not a big reader of thrillers, but I want to try, because I know that these books are very easy to read. They're like major page turners, so I want to attempt reading more thrillers, though maybe not, we will see. But yeah, this is going to be my thriller by Korean author. Next prompt is read a book featuring a Korean diaspora. I don't have any books featuring members of Korean diaspora in other countries, so that's why instead of that I'm going to read Familiar Things by Hwang Song-yong. And this is also a very interesting book, which I'm also so interested in. This book tells the story of a boy, a 14-year-old boy, and his mom moving from Seoul into like a small suburb of Seoul, and it's called Flower Island. And people there, they like separate trash, community of impoverished outsiders who make their living weeding recyclables from the rubbish. And so one day this boy sees like lights in the flower fields, and he is curious that it might be like ancient spirits of the island. But basically this book is an analysis of capitalism and what it cost people. And so I really like the way Guardian puts it. So a powerful examination of capitalism challenges us to look back and reevaluate the cost of modernization and see what and whom we have left behind. So interesting. So I'm very excited about this book. Next challenge is read a book with Korean mythology. And again, unfortunately I don't have any books with Korean mythology. Yeah, this is something I don't have in my collection. So that's why working on it. While I don't have this book, I have 3 more books by the same author. This book aren't actually a series, they follow different characters and different topics. And I guess the most famous one, at least like abroad, because I've seen it in a few booktubers videos. This is The Hen Who Dreamed She Could Fly by Soon Mi Won. And this book is about freedom and looking for freedom and fighting for your freedom, because basically this is a book about a hen living in this farm, and she isn't happy there. She is tired of laying eggs on command and just having them constantly like taken away from her and being brought directly to the market. She wants to be free. She looks through through the hole in her barn, and she sees animals outside who roam around like being free and doing what they want, and she decides that this is her future. This is what she wants in her life. She wants to be free. Okay, so she comes up with a plan to escape into the wild, and to hatch an egg of her own. An anthem for freedom, individuality, and motherhood, featuring a plucky, spirited character who rebels against the tradition-bound world of the barnyard. I'm so excited also about this one. Next book, also by the same author, The Dog Who Dared to Dream, is a story of a dog named Scraggly. Born an outsider because of her distinctive appearance, she spends most of her days in the sun-filled yard of her owner's house. Scraggly has dreams and aspirations just like the rest of us, but each winter dark clouds descend and Scraggly is faced with challenges that she must overcome. And so The Dog Who Dared to Dream is a wise tale of the relationship between dog and man, as well as celebration of life lived with courage. This also sounds so good. So this is one more book. And the last book for this readathon that I really want to read. Like, all of these books sound like I'm going to adore them. Like, all of them, every single one of them sounds okay, maybe except for The Good Son. I might be scared of that book, but all the other books, they just sound like I'm going to just love them with my whole heart. Okay, so this is the last book, Miracle on Cherry Hill, by the same author. And this is I think going to be a sad story, because this is a story of a man who grew up in poverty, but he ended up having like a very big construction company, and he basically freed himself from the poverty. In his late years, when he is already old, he is diagnosed with a tumor, and he goes into the countryside. He buys a house there and he starts living there. But however, people from the village where he lives, they're constantly like intruding on his property, because apparently it used to be like a communal place or like public place, so they constantly intrude on there. And as the blurb puts it, Miracle on Cherry Hill is a redemptive story of a man regaining his trust in humanity. It explores the fragility of nature and human lives, and is a much loved classic in South Korea. All 7 books that I want to read for the KOREADATHon in July, just to remind you, so from the 6th of July till the 12th of July. And now, life challenges that you should do, for which I'm actually very excited about. So the first challenge is you need to make a Korean recipe. I will of course vlog that week, and so yeah, we will make a Korean recipe together. I am not good at like preparing Korean food, because like on the first sight Korean food looks very easy to make, but actually when you actually try and make it, because the difficult part of it is the sauce. Like, they use very simple elements, but making the sauce correctly is the most difficult part. I remember once I went to Korean cooking class. I couldn't remember all the ingredients for their sauces. Like, there were so many, some of them I've never seen before. Korean recipes, they only look simple. They are not actually. But I will just do it the way I can do it, the way I can understand. I am going to make takalbi. Takalbi is my favorite Korean food. It's basically chicken and cabbage. So tak is chicken and kalbi is cabbage. So it's like these 2 elements together, but it's so good. I really like that food. It's my favorite. So I'm going to try that. I also know how to make kimchi jeon, but it's so easy. It's like everybody can make it. It's like super easy. It's but we will also make it. So 2 Korean dishes I can make. Others I know I think I can't. There's so many difficult sauces. And the last challenge is watch a Korean TV drama or a Korean movie. So I have Netflix subscription, so they have a lot of Korean dramas there. I will choose something from there, but unfortunately I will just recommend you, if you can find, highly recommend it. My favorite Korean drama, I'm not usually a fan of Korean drama, I don't know, just not my cup of tea, but my favorite Korean drama that I really enjoyed, because it was so funny, and I feel like actors have done such a wonderful job in this drama. It was just perfect. I don't know, it was funny, it was light-hearted, it was kind, I really liked, and also scary at sometimes, so it was perfect. I really liked it. So the drama is called Strong Woman Do Bonsoon. I really like the drama. They used to have it on Netflix, but for some reason they have deleted it. I don't know why. It was perfect. So if I can find it in some other place, but I don't know where to look for it. But I've seen it and it was wonderful. So if you can find Strong Woman Do Bonsoon, highly recommend it. Also, there is a very famous, it used to be very huge drama like a few years ago, called The Goblin. Everybody adores this drama. I haven't seen it. Like if they have it on Netflix, probably they don't. I'm not sure, but probably they don't. I've never seen it there. So yeah, I would like to watch Goblin if I can find it. So these are my plans for KOREADATHON 2020. Let me know in the comments if you want to participate. I think it's a very interesting readathon, and I'm glad that finally there is a readathon based on Korean culture and Korean literature, because I feel like it's underrepresented. So yes, I'm glad it exists and I want to participate. And for now, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you're having a very good day, staying safe, and I will see you soon in my next videos. Thank you. Bye.